Hi, it's Romola and welcome to this week's support for the overwhelmed, shall we say, mother, woman who's looking for some support this week. So as usual, I've just shuffled my cards, which is the Inner Light Alchemy deck, and we've got the keyword is breathe, and this is the theme for this week. So when we think about breathe, obviously it's something that we do every day. Most of us do it without thinking. It's just something that happens. Sometimes we do actually think about it, and it's usually to bring, when we're in a stressful situation or we think, right, I must use my breath to bring some calm. So we might think about breathing through our nose, breathing out through our mouth. We might try and do the extended out breath. We might do some box breathing. We might do some star breathing. We might do some more serious breath work. And that can be really important, and it can really make a big difference. But I want to take a step back from this, and really the reason we are then looking at our breath is because we are in emotional overload. We are mentally spiraling. We are nervous. Our nervous system is dysregulated. We are perhaps not in anxiety, but we are feeling anxiety. We are feeling those anxious energies, and they can be really, I want to say discombobulating. It's a great word that's just come through, but you know, it can really throw our energy out. And that's why we then think, yes, let's do some breathing exercises, and then we reach for the tools. But I think a really good thing to remember is actually, if we use our breath and we use our tools all the time, or specifically use them 3 or 4 times a day, then that can really help to regulate us, to bring us back into that calmer space, so that when we have that overload, we are then more able to move back into balance, but at the same time we are not perhaps getting triggered. You know how we've got the like a heartbeat and it's going up, but what we can perhaps do is we can perhaps reduce how high it's going on the spikes on the up and the down. So yeah, breathing is a real amazing tool to have, and it's something that doesn't require anything else. It just needs awareness, and you need to know what you're doing. So it's a really powerful tool, and definitely part of the Inner Light Alchemy tool pack, shall we say. Because when we can regulate our breath, when we can bring the body into calm, then other things can happen. Our capacity to make decisions, our ability to emotionally and mentally have the capability and capacity to make those decisions, to take those actions, can really happen without that dysregulation and that anxiety building up. And one thing is key, is that the body needs safety before it needs clarity, before it can do the expansive stuff. It needs to be in that safety space, and that's really where the breathing can really come into its own and support you. So basic things that I will talk about are, you know, the longer out breath, what I call the 4-7. I think it might actually be the 7-11. So you breathe in for the count. I like to do 4, breathe in for the count of 4, and breathe out for the count of 7. So that out breath is slightly longer, and that then has a physiological effect on the body, which moves you into that calm. It's a really powerful thing, providing you are not too dysregulated. Other things are slowing down your breath. Breathing just through, when you breathe through your nose and out through your nose, you're stimulating the vagus nerve, which is really powerful for making those, again, the physiological changes in your body. Whereas when we breathe out through our mouth, we're sort of missing half the recipe, shall I say. So yeah, the breath, just have a think about how you're breathing, what your breath does, how does it affect you? Are you using tools around your breathing to support you? And also the other thing, with breathing is I would, invite you into the world of scent. I mean, I use the sprays. This is Serapis that I've just brought in here, so to do some other work. But yeah, we can breathe in and use scents. So roses in the garden, lavender in the garden, herbs that we use and cook with. These are all things that we can use as part of our breathing toolkit to support us. So we all know that lavender is calming, that if we put it on our, on our pillow or by our feet, or have a bath, or we have rose scented hand cream, all these things bring a part of the puzzle back to us. They bring that balance back in. And alongside the breathing, it's a really powerful tool, I think. So yeah, we're blessed that we've got these tools here to support us, for sure. Let's pull a card from the green deck, the Calm and Reset. And these are, from memory, mainly, they're all about the balance, a lot of the grounding, a lot of the breathing. So let's just see which card is coming through with a tool that can support us. Let's have that one. Here we go. Square breathing. Breathing in for the count of 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and visualize your breath moving around the 4 sides of a square. So yeah, it steadies the mind and regulates the nervous system. This can be a really powerful thing if you're in the right mindset and able to do this. Sometimes when we work with the breath, it can actually be more of a trigger and more of an issue. So let me just think. We are going to pull something from the pink deck as well, just because I think it's sometimes nice just to balance it. We'll see what we get and how relevant and supportive it's going to be. Kind inner voice. Notice the words you use when you speak to yourself. If they feel harsh or critical, pause and replace them with gentle encouragement. The way you speak to yourself shapes your inner world. Yeah, lovely. And I think that's a really beautiful thing to remember. Again, our breathing is how we speak. We speak by moving the air through our vocal cords. So it's a really powerful thing, and thinking that using those kind words, particularly to ourselves, using our breath tools, can really help bring balance and support. Working with scents of whether that's essential oils, sprays, actual living plants, herbs. Again, you're using those ancient herbal remedies to support you moving forward. So yeah, that feels a really balanced space to leave today's message. So today is actually full moon, 29th of, kind of said September then, June, nearly into the month of July. The heat wave is over for the time being, and whereas when we were in the heat of the weather last week, breathing did feel quite heavy, quite thick, and now it's a lot lighter because we're back to normal temperatures. So my invitation to you is what works for you with your breath to support your energy, to support your emotional and mental balance. What works for you, and maybe make a note of it, maybe pop it on your phone notes under things that support me when I'm sort of out of sorts, out of balance, so that you've got somewhere that you can go and just access it quickly. It might be the square breathing, it might be the longer out breath, it might be simply making sure that you breathe in and out through your nose, so you're getting that vagus nerve stimulation to bring that calm on the physiological. So yeah, let me know what works for you. What do you like to start using? For me, it's definitely breathing, making the conscious choice to breathe through my nose, making if I'm in a reasonable state, then making that out breath slightly longer, and you're working with essences to really, bring that extra balance, because I've got to breathe anyway, so why not breathe with a little bit of lavender in my, or rose in my energy, to allow me to support myself better. So that is our message for this week. If you are interested in the Access Your Inner Light membership, where we're going to be working with clearing a negative aspect that's coming up and popping and activating it as something positive, I'll have to have a think about what we're going to do today, because breathing doesn't quite align with an emotion for me at the moment, so I shall think about that and have a contemplation. But yeah, so that's £22. Every week you get a video about 20 minutes long. Also, with it being the full moon, might offer off the usual full moon clearing, which is clearing probably about 5 emotions, usually 5 to 8 emotions, and then there's usually a mini card reading around a certain area or aspect or a question that you might have, and they are I think it's usually £25. So I'll pop a link below, and yeah, let me know how you get on. What's your favourite breathing tool? And I will speak soon.